So anyway,
that brings us to our next segment of the show.
Yeah, that was weird.
My thoughts are that was totally normal. And welcome back to Chill Filtered, the podcast where we drink whiskey so you don't have to. But you probably should. You probably are. Hey, you understand. That's why we like you. And we like you for a lot of reasons. But we are recording in person, as you can tell, with a really good camera. And for our second time, too.
Shut up.
Well, we only got 20 or so minutes into it. I'm not mad.
I'm mad at myself because Cole's going through history and he's reading off all the stuff about E.H. Taylor's, and I'm like, I'm putzing around. I poured a little 100 proof rye. Yeah. I'm like kind of poking around on my desk over here, and I find my mic USB cable, and I just like pulled it up, and I'm like, we have to stop.
Yeah, it's funny, but we are entry buzzing on something nice. But before we talk about what we're entry buzzing, before we talk about any other things about our meetup this weekend, about the great whiskey we had, about the amazing people we got to hang out with, let's talk about some business. If you're not subscribed on YouTube, just know that maybe it's not all about getting notified or being told, hey, you had a new video by Chill Filtered come out. Hey, maybe just know that it supports us. That's the business for this week. Subscribe because we want to support these little old us, little old me and Bryan,
little old me.
Yep. So that is a way you can support us this week. But Bryan, what was your favorite part of this week? We'll talk about a lot of different this weekend because we just had our meetup weekend. We're actually recording on the last night that I'm here, right before bed.
Yeah,
I'm gonna edit the podcast after this.
Yeah,
and then I'm gonna go to bed because we got to wake up early for the plane trip.
Yeah.
But what was your favorite part of the weekend so far?
It's tough. It's tough because we did some really cool stuff. I mean, we picked a barrel with Found North. We had Chris Riesbeck here to walk us through that.
He's a pro.
We went to Del Bac and had a tour where the man, the myth, the legend, Mark Viertal, showed us around and let each of us individually thieve from barrels. He was like, all right, everybody wants to thieve their own, right? So everyone got to go through,
grab the copper thief,
grab it and drop it into the Glencairn. It was glorious. I took photos of everyone doing it.
Dude's a pro.
Yeah. But, like as cool as those experiences were, I'm a homebody and I love to put on bottle shares. And I think my favorite part was the bottle share. I loved being here in my home with so many Patreon subscribers and so many friends here. Everybody just sharing whiskey. I think that was my favorite part.
What was your favorite whiskey?
I
know mine.
Yeah, we talked about this. I know yours too, but there was so much. It's so easy. I want to say what yours is, but I gotta say something else.
What was your favorite that wasn't my favorite?
I know, right? I'll tell you what. I know my favorite is that I actually didn't get to try. I totally forgot to try the SAS 18.
Oh yeah. Well, we've had it on the podcast, but still, I mean, I've had a lot of those things.
Like every time I see it, I want to try it, but I totally overlooked it.
Beautifully creamy, fruity, like strawberry sauce. So good.
Okay, you know what? The one that caught me by surprise the most, that's coming back to my memory right now. You jog my memory. First thing coming back is the Ardbeg Uigeadail.
Ooh, you got to try that one?
I did get to try the Ardbeg Uigeadail. That was brought by Marco Laughlin, Marco and AZ. Thank you for bringing that up. I've always wanted to try that for a long time.
Yeah, we had some good people come. Shout out to a few, just a few. Shout out to everyone for sure. But Max traveling from out of state. Amazing. And other people traveling from Tucson and other places, amazing. I love that.
Taking the drive all the way up for the barrel pick. And especially talking about driving, shout out to Rob. Rob used a 15-passenger van, drove us all down to Tucson so we could tour Del Bac. Everybody ride together. That's so awesome.
Yeah. That was so like generous of it. There's so many generous people in our community, and we love that.
Definitely.
And we're so grateful to be a part of that community, let alone like somewhat facilitate things like this. So,
for sure.
What do you think? Madison, Wisconsin, 2025.
I would love to make that happen.
Ben and Caleb and all of our Midwestern listeners and viewers.
Let's go in the middle of winter,
Yeah,
Madison,
dead
Wisconsin.
winter. In 2 months or in 3 months. January 2025 meetup.
Turn it right around.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah, it's probably getting cold. Well, actually, Max was saying it's like in the 50s today in the Midwest, or at least in where he's near Chicago. So it's got to be in the high in the 50 or high in the 40s maybe in Madison. But maybe we'll work it out.
That sounds great because it was 94 here today.
It was 98 in Tucson.
We were trying to get some food while we were down there after Del Bac, and we were walking around outside, and it was like one of those situations where if I have to sit at a table in the sun, I will die. I will just die.
It was hot. Yeah, luckily we had some misters at one point.
Yeah. Mr. Sam,
Mr. Colonel Taylor.
Hey, we'll talk about him later. We'll talk about him later.
But it was a great weekend.
Yes, and I got to meet Tim and Sarah Murray for the first time. Yeah, that was fun.
They're awesome. They're our second oldest Patreon members.
There we go.
Yeah,
nice. Yeah, got to see Wayne. Wayne brought over some homemade pumpkin cookies that he made himself.
Did a good job.
He did a good job. Yeah.
Maybe even better than his wife's.
Yeah,
I don't know. I haven't met his wives yet.
We won't tell her.
Yeah, exactly. What else? Yeah, I loved the barrel pick. I was just like, this is so much fun. We voted. We had 3 options. Do you want to talk about them?
I would love to. Yeah. So Found North sent these for us to all sample and choose which one we like the most. The shtick here with the season 4 single barrels that Found North is running through is they worked with Kelvin Cooperage. Google it that way, just like that. And Kelvin took their finishing barrels and they toasted the insides of them, not with infrared, but by burning a fuel source. That fuel source was wood, different types of wood. So they're running an experiment here where they took American oak, they took Amburana, which was the crazy curveball. They took French oak,
Brazilian oak. They mentioned, right? Or no, that was the Amburana. What was the other one you was talking? Spanish oak. Spanish oak.
And so they burnt that in the barrels to perform the toasting action and to it kind of smoked out the barrel a little bit too. So it imparted that flavor from those fuel sources just from the toasting aspect. So with the Amburana, the only Amburana here was from that smokiness toasting out the barrel. So they sent us, we had to choose between American oak, French oak, and Amburana. And very democratically, we took a vote. Everybody, we had 17 drinkers at this event, and we didn't want to pull any strings.
We weren't going to veto anything.
It's about everybody at the pit, the whole group, and so everybody took a vote. They wrote down 1, 2, 3 what their first, second, third was, and golf scoring rules. Whichever one had the lowest score won, and it was
the French oak.
French oak.
And Amburana got last. And I was sort of glad about it. I voted actually the American oak. I liked that one a little more. It was much more honey to me. They were both honey, French oak and American oak. There was much less honey on the Amburana. But when I first sipped into the first one, the American oak one, I was like, this is pure Manuka honey. Like, it was blazing. But then the French oak was very honey to me too. And that's why I like them both. That being said, luckily one of those two won. It's not that I didn't like the Amburana.
It would have been fine. If that's what everybody wanted, I'm down. It was great.
Great. But for some reason I was like, this is definitely the least of my favorites. And luckily it got third place. So
nice. Yeah. I put Amburana number 2 actually, because it had a bit of spice there. It had some body there that I really liked. And my last was your French oak. Or sorry, no, your American oak.
Oh, really?
That American oak just came across too tame, too mellow for me.
So funny.
It didn't have.
I felt about the Amburana.
It didn't have as long enough of a finish for me relative to the French oak. The French oak caught me by surprise the first time around because it hit me. It hit pretty hard the first time around. Maybe I hadn't had much to drink yet, but the first time I sipped it, it kind of knocked me back, and I was like, "Whoa, that's a little too intense. Maybe that's a little too much."
Like, easy there, big fella.
Yeah, whoa! by the time I cycled around and warmed up with all the other ones, came back to that French oak, all that spice just helped that finish be so much noticeably longer than the other two. It had a longer finish, it had a more intense mid palate There was plenty of spice there, and not too much. It was just a pleasant, mouth lingering spiciness that lasted a really long time. So I enjoyed that French oak. That was my number one. And it was a majority of other people's highest drinking one too.
It was somewhat close, but different enough to be obvious winner.
I mean, like the point totals were close-ish, but it was, I don't know, it was like 35 to 38 to 41 or something like that. It was like
they're all within 10.
It was a clear like step, but nothing was like neck and neck.
Yeah, which was nice.
Right.
But you're gonna have a great pick coming out soon. Let us know if you're interested, peeps.
Yes, and we will send out a poll for sure because we need to know. If I understood correctly, we will have the opportunity to place orders for
just
for listeners of the podcast before they go on sale for the rest of the general.
And that means you, bro, ask it.
Yeah,
we'll set one aside for you in this America.
And it will extremely likely be shipped by seal box. All that will be handled by a box full of seals, and they will ship it to your door. Hopefully, if you live in a state that they ship to. They ship to most states, though.
Yeah, but not Canada. But we will take good care of you, Mr.
We'll figure out
Canadian
a way. Love finds a way.
Yes, exactly. Love always finds a way. I mean, hey, look at me. And with that being said,
we're
not ready.
We're not. Entry buzz. Now, first off, we had a pre-entry buzz. When I had my microphone situation screwed up, we were drinking a lovely pour from our friend of the podcast, Josh, your drinking buddy,
who was able to make not only the barrel pick but the barrel thieving at Del Bac.
So he gave us today, when we saw him at Del Bac, a sample with a question mark on it, and we said, "Oh, we'll entry buzz on this for the show." So we were sipping it earlier, and we had kind of mixed opinions.
I thought it was a rye.
Cole thought it was
I thought it was decent. Yeah,
I was thinking it was a little kind of bitter for me. There was I like my whiskey with a little more sweetness, sugary sweetness than that. Yeah, I know, crazy. So we did a reveal that you'll never see. And it turned out to be a 1792 full proof that Josh himself aged at home for an entire year.
That's crazy.
I assume with a barrel spiral. I think he does a lot with barrel spirals. But yeah, it's that imparted just way more oakiness on it. But it still kind of maintained a lot of that 1792 stuff that I'm just not a huge fan of.
Check out his channel though. It's Your Drinking Buddy on YouTube's. He does a lot of fun stuff, and
But now
we are drinking Colonel E.H. Taylor Straight Rye. Barrel proof? Nay, I say. Just the hundo proof, bottled in bond.
Best E.H. Taylor 100 proof rye ever? Question mark?
We're replicating the thumbnail now, where I do the big wink. And and we were like, we always have an issue with people doing these sensational thumbnails. It's like bourbon of the year, and so we decided to do something that cannot be false and say best E.H. Taylor barrel proof release ever.
Worst E.H. Taylor barrel proof rye.
Worst
release.
for sure. I can assure you it's gonna be the worst I've ever had.
Easily.
But we'll see how it does. I mean, we're not trying to be in not integrity based or whatever the word is. Like, we're not trying to be
clickbait,
false or clickbait. We thought we'd try it out and see how funny it turns out.
But now hold on. In not trying to be clickbaity, we kind of are.
No, we are trying to be clickbaity, but we're not being false about it. We're maintaining our integrity, because this is definitely the worst E.H. Taylor barrel proof rye we've ever had. But it's also the best.
It's also important to laugh at yourselves every now and then.
And do thumbnails like this.
What? I'll do the wink this time.
There we go. So but we're excited. We're drinking a big dog today.
Yeah, good stuff. And so I'm excited to hear so much about this. I don't really know. I haven't done a lot of research. I can only assume that what I'm entry buzzing on is a good parallel to the lower.
Well, I don't know.
Here. But we're drinking these out of fabulous Chill Filtered Meetup Glencairns designed by my lovely wife.
With the cactus on it, with the Sahara taxus on it. Cactus on it.
And it even says Phoenix 2024 because the next one will say Madison 2025.
You're not positive about that, but it could very well say MAD 2025 or something like that. Like, we're mad for Madison.
Is MAD the airport code?
No, it's MSN, I think.
Oh, MSN.
Yeah.
That sounds like the old internet service provider then.
Yeah. I think it is MSN though.
Oh, nice. Let's not do it with the old internet service provider.
No, we're not going to do it. We're going to do it with the new internet service provider.
Yeah, AOL.
Google Fi. Yeah, there you go. That's super new. Remember when do you remember like getting the CD to install your internet driver, basically?
Yeah, and then I remember getting one in like every box of cereal afterwards.
Around and stuff. Yeah.
yeah.
Like, made a frisbee out of it. Yeah. Any other shout outs? Anything else we need to say?
Yeah, I mean, just everyone was so generous.
Yeah.
Everyone was generous with bottles. Everyone was generous with their time.
Wait, this time around, did you say your favorite bottle?
No, because I can't.
You didn't think about it?
Well, you know what? I did think about it.
Okay.
I spoke about generosity. Bryan Duncan.
What?
A
baller.
He just brings whatever he wants whenever he wants, and he brought 2017.
Birthday bourbon.
2017. Yeah. Okay, ruin it. Thanks.
Sorry. But it was definitely 2017. No.
So he brought that. That is just a delicious pour, and we were able with that to celebrate Patrick's birthday.
Shout out to Patrick
Shout
Smith.
out to Patrick coming up this Thursday. He's got a birthday. We gave him an Eagle Rare. I almost said 17.
I wish.
Sorry, we wish we could have given you an Eagle Rare 17.
Sorry to let you know.
But
we'll give him 2 Eagle Rare 17s, and he'll have a double Eagle Very Rare.
Ooh.
That's what they did. They just multiplied them or added them together.
It's a double barrel blend. Yeah. I never thought of that. That makes so much sense.
Compound the ages.
Yeah.
It's so double Eagle 20 year. Isn't the double Eagle Very Rare 20 year?
I can't remember. Yeah. That's not in the history. I don't know. We'll figure that out later. But anyway, birthday bourbon, and shout out to Bryan and Patrick. Good times.
Dude, Bryan brought a 2021 William LaRue Weller, which could very well, it was better than the Barrel Seagrass Gold.
Oh yeah,
to me,
even Max agreed, and Max loves the Seagrass Gold.
And
did we shout out Max?
Also doesn't love Buffalo Trace in general. I think we did.
Yeah,
but he came out from out of state. What a baller!
Thank you. But I sipped the 2021 William LaRue Weller, and then I've got a 2023 back here behind me. Very fortunate. Not even close. The 2021 made the 2023 seem like just another whiskey. Yeah.
And it's sad because yours is good. But no, it was good. The most when you say like a whiskey's complex, what I mean is like there's a lot of different things going on at the same time. Waves of flavor.
Oh yeah.
Every wave of flavor on that 2021 was right up my alley. Like baking apples, green apples, caramel, like this beautiful like vanilla kind of note. Like it was just all the above, all the notes that I love melded together. It was top 10 whiskey I've ever had.
Yeah, and my 2023 has a little bit of this like musty earthiness that kind of mutes all that.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah.
So like that's not there as much.
That's the thing on William LaRue's is they can be very earthy sometimes.
Yeah,
and I feel like the 2021 had a slight amount of that, but it was just gorgeous throughout. Gorgeous.
I had so many samples I intended to share with people. I have a King of Kentucky sample that I want to share with another Patrick, Sluggiface Patrick. I have a Parker's Heritage, the newest one sample that I want to share with Bryan, just so we can see what that's like because we're both super curious. And then like Coy Hill, different proofs to compare from the newest Coy Hill release. I mean, first off, let us say we're extremely fortunate to be in a scenario where we can try all these.
Dude, we're extremely grateful to be in it.
There was too much to try, and while also drinking responsibly.
Yes, and I feel like we actually did pretty well.
I know,
and I feel like everyone did pretty well.
I'm pretty susceptible to feeling it the next day, and I can proudly say I was up at 6 a.m. with them every day.
Yeah, no headache, no nothing. Yeah, it was a great time. And everyone was like, I don't think anyone like got at it, not even close to out of control. Like I think everyone kept in their boundaries. We asked people to drink responsibly. I think everyone did.
Definitely.
So how are we doing on time? We're doing good on time. Do you want to go for a quick walk and we'll come back? We'll talk about E.H. Taylor Barrel Proof Rye.
Sounds good. Let's do it.
Go for a quick walk. Welcome back, everyone. Great walk. We actually went for a walk.
Yeah, believe it or not. Yeah, you got to do it when you're in person. Yeah.
Together. So we got some great history today, but before I get into that, just really quick reiteration of the thank yous, especially to Chris Riesbeck from Found North, Mark Viertaler from WWWYC Del Bac. We had a great time working with both you guys, and it's like it blows me away about this community, even if it's not our direct community, like the greater whiskey community. Great people, and that's why I do it, honestly.
Yeah.
And like I enjoy the whiskey stuff, but it's not that I do it for only that reason. But I assure you, if it wasn't that way, I wouldn't be doing this.
Yeah.
Like, there were a lot of rude people or people that just didn't care,
right,
willing to step down off their amazing, great thrones of whiskey to help a mere whiskey channel like us, little old us. So.
And there's so much behind the scenes too. I mean, we were emailing back and forth with other people from Del Bac who were very helpful in arranging it with Mark Viertaler.
Totally.
Many people behind the scenes with Found North who helped get samples from barrels, get samples in boxes, get them sent here. Thank you for everyone involved.
Yeah,
really
amazing people. So thank you guys so much. E.H. Taylor, Colonel E.H. Taylor, Barrel Proof Rye. This is not our first Colonel E.H. Taylor special edition. Ooh, I like that. This is also not our first E.H. Taylor episode, and it's definitely not our first Buffalo Trace episode, but it has been a long while since we've done an E.H. Taylor special edition. Get this. Today, we're recording today, episode 330. Episode 130 was our last E.H. Taylor special edition.
Wow.
Seasoned wood, the best whiskey I've ever had, personally. But it's been a while since we've talked about what makes E.H. Taylor special editions so special. So let's get into that history today. Now, most of us are familiar with Buffalo Trace. They say honor tradition, embrace change. And I think, honestly, that phrase is the perfect fit for this line because the E.H. Taylor line is all about experimentation. And for the record, I'm not talking about small batch E.H. Taylor. I'm not talking about single barrel straight rye when we entry buzzed on right here. I am talking about the special edition. I'm not talking about the barrel proof bourbons. This is the special editions, started in 2011. But I'll get to why this is such a great representation of honor, tradition, embrace change in a little bit. Their first release, it all started in 2011 with a very special pour called E.H. Taylor Old Fashioned Sour Mash. It was a smaller batch of bourbon made that was using a patented technique that actual Edmund Haynes Taylor, E.H. Taylor, Colonel E.H. Taylor did. At about the turn of the century in the 1900s, early 1900s. He owned the OFC distillery that is now the Buffalo Trace distillery. And they found the patented method of sour mash like fermentation, or rather, it's a mixture of like fermentation as well as like the distillation process. So, but yeah, it's mostly the fermentation process. They found it and replicated it. That release was a 9-year bottled bond release, so 100 proof, so on. The next was 2012's Warehouse Sea Tornado Surviving. That was from a collection of barrels that were exposed to the elements after a 2006 tornado came through Buffalo Trace's property, severely damaging a warehouse or two. But one of the warehouses was Warehouse C. They found that while the barrels were exposed to the elements, as they were repairing the warehouse, it gave the bourbon a much more rich flavor. And it was also a 9-year bottled and bond bourbon. 3 years later, because they skipped 2, they did a 2012 release with the tornado surviving. 2013 had no release. 2014 had no release, but in 2015 they did have one, and it was cured oak.
You had that?
I owned that.
Oh, yeah. That's right.
And how did I get that? I know. I traded.
Very good.
Like, do I regret that trade? Sort of do, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was one of those trades where I thought, I got 2 of these bottles. Let me trade one for it's only for the taste. Like cured oak was good. Don't get me wrong. But I traded it for Sweet 16. Did I tell you that?
You gave a 16?
I gave a 16. And I took cured oak. And looking back, like I don't know.
I'm out. End of the podcast.
I think like cured oak is worth more But we tried that Sweet 16 and it was glorious.
Do you want to know? How much is Sweet 16? I saw some Sweet 16s lately. 2,300.
And what's cured?
Like 1,000.
Really? Yeah. Oh, it was a bad trade.
Sorry,
and taste wise, cured. I mean, the Sweet 16 was a whole nother level.
Yeah.
So anyway, cured oak. What made cured oak special was that it was aged using staves that were air cured for 13 months, which at the time was a lot longer than the typical 6 months that was used to that was spent curing staves of wood for the barrels. It was bottled and bond as well, but this one was 17 years old. So 16 year, 17 year, the 16-year one out. The next 2016, my favorite of the E.H. Taylor release, the best whiskey I've ever had. E.H. Taylor Seasoned Wood. Why was it good? I don't know, but I'll tell you what made it good. The first one this is the first one I ever heard of. When I got into whiskey collecting and stuff was in 2015, so I didn't really hear about cured oak, but I did hear about Seasoned Wood when it came out. In fact, shout out to Lucas Fry. For those who live in Colorado Springs, he owns a restaurant called Cork and Cask, I believe, and it's in near downtown.
Was this anything to do with the 13th colony you got recently?
No, that was Justin.
Gotcha.
I don't even know his last name, but he's just Justin. Shout out to Justin at Clicks Liquor in Fountain, Colorado. Anyway, cured oak. I'm sorry, seasoned wood. So they air cure the wood that was used for the staves, but they also dipped the wood for the barrels in an enzyme-rich bath.
Ooh.
Yeah, it sounds weird.
Yeah, right.
But
who bathed in that before to give it all the enzymes?
Right.
Yeah.
What kind of enzymes are in there? But there's no telling what enzymes are in there. But you can do that since you're not adding flavor. You're just infusing the wood with an enzyme
like in a pizza barrel.
Yeah, exactly. Right. Yeah, if it's a pizza barrel, it still can be a bourbon because you didn't add pizza to the whiskey. It just infused the whiskey or the pizza from the barrel. No one knows what kind of enzymes it is, but it doesn't even matter. This wheated bourbon was a doozy. And it was also bottled in bond and was rumored to be aged at least 10 years, but no age statement was given. And it's funny, we talked about this. Seasoned wood runs for about $2,000, if not more.
Yes. Actually, a little more now. Like your asset is appreciating.
Mm-hmm. But cured oak was 17 years old and only runs for about $1,000.
Crazy.
Time will tell. Time will tell.
And taste will tell. All about the experiments.
It really next was 4-grain, 2017 and 2018, 2 releases of it. It was not, according to Buffalo Trace, a blend of a wheated bourbon and a rye recipe bourbon, but was rather an actual 4-grain mash bill distilled in 2005.
I would have put money the other way.
You would have? Did you hear otherwise though?
No, I didn't hear otherwise. Yeah. I just thought.
Yeah. And it was delicious. I had a bottle in 2017. It was a good one. Aged 12 years and bottled in bond. Next, in 2019, Amaranth, Grain of the Gods.
Heard good things.
I tried it. It was good. I tried it at a bar.
You got a sample? No? Did you get a podcast sample of Amaranth?
I don't know. I don't think so.
Whatever.
But Amaranth was in the mash bill of this bourbon. And as we know, bourbon just needs to be at least 51% corn, but the rest of the grains, who knows? You can do anything.
I don't even know what amaranth is.
It is.
Please continue.
Type of grain. It's kind of like wheat, apparently, but it's definitely not wheat. It's not related to wheat. Huh. It is what some people call a super grain, like quinoa and all that crap. Native to South America originally in the Andes. Buffalo Trace thought it would be cool to incorporate a non-traditional grain into a bourbon mash bill. And it is at least 10 years old and bottled in bond. And here's where I talk about bottled in bond and why that's special here. I've talked about honor, tradition, embrace change, one of the mottos of Buffalo Trace. This is an experimental collection. Everything is cool and new experiment. But also, so far you've noticed everything is bottled in bond, which means you're honoring tradition because Colonel E.H. Taylor himself was a big proponent and really pushed the bottled in bond act of 1897 forward. So they're honoring tradition. by putting it as bottled in bond, which bottled in bond needs to be at least 4 years old, needs to be 100 proof, needs to be from one distilling season, I think, pretty sure.
Yeah.
One distilling season from one distiller. And it needs to be aged in a government bonded warehouse. And that's honoring tradition. But on the other hand, all these are cool and experimental. So that's embracing change, which I dig. So next, 2020, 18-year marriage. You ever try this?
Oh no, but actually,
What's it running?
Maybe $2,000.
Okay.
I think.
Uh-huh.
Are you going to get into the fact that some of these showed up recently?
No.
Please continue on,
Okay.
and then I'll do that.
18-year marriage. This was a blend of at least 18-year-old barrels from 3 different mash bills. There is the high rye mash bill number 1, the higher rye mash bill number 2, and the wheated bourbon mash bill. It is a marriage of at least 18-year-old barrels of these.
So they had apparently, I don't know much about this, but Buffalo Trace has some dinners that they put on where you can buy a ticket to a dinner. You get food and whiskey and the opportunity to purchase a bottle. Well, they have a stock of 18-year marriage, and I think other ones too. And I don't know if it was an occasion. I don't know if it was a celebration or something, or if I don't know.
Handing them out.
I don't know if it was just September. So let's finally do this.
They hit the market recently.
Yes. So everyone at that, well, I guess I can't say everyone, but many people at least at that dinner got the opportunity to purchase an 18-year marriage at MSRP straight from Buffalo Trace.
I guess it's probably it is the oldest E.H. Taylor release at 18 years.
Yeah. I think it was 2,300-ish or something. And then now it's down to about 2 because a bunch have hit the market.
18 years.
Crazy.
I don't imagine it's blow your mind good though, because it's a little bit of a chaotic blend of 3 mash bills.
Right.
It might be amazing though. All right, next 2022. No. Next was 2021. It was called Warehouse C, not Warehouse C Tornado Surviving. Warehouse C. This was a 10-year from a collection of barrels aged in the center of Warehouse C, a warehouse known to age E.H. Taylor products. And apparently the center of the warehouse is where really great barrels have come out. They say certain, qualities and all that stuff add up to, great barrels. I don't know. How much is that, you think?
Warehouse C? I'm just blanking because I have no even curiosity interest in Warehouse C because it's just Warehouse C.
Yeah.
It's not it's some unique whatever.
What did we find that old fashioned sour mash was running? 20,000?
20,000.
Wow.
Yeah. We may, totally unrelated. We forgot to say a shout out to Brandon Hunt from Bourbon Charity.
Yeah. So shout out to Brandon Hunt because he lent his Bourbon Charity headquarters to us. Which was pretty cool because we literally saw a bottle of old fashioned sour mash on his shelf.
It was just there.
Just there.
Yeah.
It was hey, here's another cool bottle. And he had some killer bottles on his shelf. And it made a really good ambiance for the barrel pick. And big shout out to Brandon Hunt. We are super appreciative.
And say a couple words about Bourbon Charity real quick.
Bourbon Charity. Check them out, bourboncharity.org. A great way to support other charities without any of the proceeds for the fundraisers they do going back to Bourbon Charity. Bourbon Charity gives 100% of everything raised from the fundraisers to other charities such as Charity Water, Wounded Warrior Project, the Fisher House charity, stuff like that. Really great charities are getting 100% of the proceeds because of the bottle raffling or sweepstakes, I think it's called, legally. I don't know, but it's the same thing. I'm okay to say it. I'm sure
I'm sure he has many lawyers. It is all above ground.
But if you haven't checked out Bourbon Charity, check them out at bourboncharity.com or .org, or find them on Instagram, Bourbon Charity. Nice. They're doing great things over there.
Good stuff. And the dude is one of the nicest dudes
I've ever met. He's so nice. Yeah. He's like a family man. He's a good dude. Okay. Warehouse C. Great conditions of barrels, apparently. But then here's what happened. 2022. We get an announcement. The year after Warehouse C came out, we get an announcement saying, we're going to, we're going to release a Barrel Proof Rye as our release this year for 2022. And then it never happened.
Yeah. And funny enough, here we are now. Laser code.
Does it say 2022?
L22.
I love that.
So this,
I hate that because we missed 2 years.
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah. But that means this bottle, actually, you know what?
Has been waiting in a bottle for 2 years.
Yeah, this bottle ran through the assembly line 2 years ago.
Wow.
So it's been hanging out somewhere.
I'm glad you checked that. Yeah.
Waiting for the right charity dinner, I guess.
Seriously.
But you know what? 2 years ago, no way I would have been in the right place, right?
That's true.
To get something like this.
And you were in the right place, right time. But that's what we're drinking today. Let's crack it now.
You know what? You missed 2.
Oh yeah,
I'm totally joking.
Oh, that'd be crazy.
But you missed 2. Have you ever heard of the E.H. Taylor Swift? Somebody somewhere did a store pick.
Oh, fun of a Taylor pick. That's funny.
E.H. Taylor single barrel, and it's got like glitter and blue and pink and like stickers of Taylor Swift all over it.
We'll get into it later in the episode.
But there's one more too. You totally forgot to mention the E.H. Taylor flood surviving.
Oh no!
Somebody did a single barrel pick, E.H. Taylor single barrel, and they put flood surviving on it, and like the bottom like third of the tube has like a blue wax. Like, like they waxed it upside down. So when you turn it right side up, it looks like water, a water level around it.
Is that recent?
Yeah, I think it was like 6 months.
Okay, so it wasn't like hurricane related.
It's so funny because like they obviously did it for selling purposes. So then like everybody's all like, oh my god, look, it's E.H. Taylor flood surviving. That's cool, but it's like it's a freaking joke. Like it's just hilarious.
Yeah, for sure. I can't believe we should do a E.H. Taylor Nick Taylor. E.H. Nick Taylor.
Oh my god.
Found North release.
I know what our next Nick Taylor YouTube thumbnails.
Yeah, exactly.
Where do I write that down?
Yeah. We'll never remember that.
Future ideas spreadsheet here.
So yeah, that's what we're drinking today. Colonel E.H. Taylor Barrel Proof Rye 2024. So you know what's interesting? I checked out their website and they have the chronological order of releases. And on top, they have like small batch, single barrel, straight rye, and then barrel proof bourbon. But below barrel proof bourbon, they put barrel proof rye. And then they went to old fashioned sour mash. And then they finished on Warehouse C.
As if this could somehow be a regular release someday.
Some's telling me it might be.
That's exciting.
But this is okay. So what makes this special? This is a barrel proof rye, the first barrel proof and the first rye release in the special edition collection. There was speculation that this could have actually been a mash bill different than the standard rye mash bill. But from what I found online, it is not different. Same as Handy, same as Sazerac, same as E.H. Taylor straight rye.
E.H. Taylor straight rye. Are there any other? Is it the same as kosher rye?
I believe so.
Okay. Okay.
And this is 126 proof on the dot. We do not know the age. And that is the big question about this release.
Right.
Is this older than Thomas H. Handy?
Who knows?
It's barrel proof rye. Is it older or younger than the other barrel proof rye in the collection?
Because barrel proof bourbons are usually 8-ish years or something like that. But I mean, you can't use that to guess what this is.
What they should have done is kept it in the barrel for 2 more years from 2022 to 2024. But you know, we would have known because it's bottled in bond. Therefore, it would have been at least 6 years old.
They're professionals. I'm sure they pulled it when it was ready and they just had to wait for TTB approval for 2 years, you know.
Yeah. So, well, it's not bottled in bond. I just did mention that, but of course it can't be because it's barrel proof.
So they're totally not honoring tradition.
No, they hate tradition.
The worst.
$80 retail. Good luck. Good luck. And that's the history I got for today. So, okay. We're going to put it in our chill filtered glass.
Yes.
All right. I'll bring them up. Nice CF Glencairns.
Here is what an initial cork pop of a special edition E.H. Taylor sounds like.
Oh, that was loud. I pitched and loud.
I hope that wasn't too loud.
No, never too loud. We'll start hearing Emma crying in the background.
Down the hatch.
Down the hatch. You don't take your plastic sleeves off?
I will eventually.
I just go.
I didn't want to pick at it or whatever.
Well, just what I do with the EH2. Well, that's a nice hefty pour. I mean, you cork it, but then you just go.
Oh,
yeah.
I'll do that later.
Yeah. Now you know, listener, viewer, just shank it off that John.
Yeah, Cole. You heard Cole. He said himself. He corks it and goes.
Yep. And I also shank it off that, John. I don't know if it's really
Shank
bad.
it off. Shank it off. That's that Taylor Swift song, right?
Hey, shout out to E.H. Taylor Swift. All right, cheers.
Yeah, cheers. Thanks for
All
coming.
right.
Thanks for coming.
No, thanks for having me.
I'm not at all surprised that you nosed that hard.
It's not very potent.
It is easily nosable.
And 126 is a lot to be able to nose that hard.
I'm getting caramely rye nose. I'm getting a deep sweetness that's like caramely oaky.
So what I love about E.H. or Barrel or Buffalo Trace's rye mash bill is that it is very appley in general, and I love appley. That's why I love Buffalo Trace, because everything Buffalo Trace makes has appley in it. Not getting too much here, a little bit, but also what the rumor about Buffalo Trace's rye mash bill is that it's minimum rye, like it's like very close to 51% rye. Of course, no one knows, but that's the rumor, is it's almost bourbony.
Wow.
Good.
Yeah. You know what? Since this is special enough, I don't want to get into it yet while you're sipping. But I guess what I'll say first is that the nose and the palate are super different.
Oh, wow.
They
are very different.
The nose was just a calm, deep sugar, beautiful. No, not a lot of herbalness on the nose.
Yeah.
But then the palate is quite herbal. And like
almost like Driftless Glen herbal.
Yeah. It's like
but not that much.
it's like 3 out of 10 into like barnyard funk territory,
or like menthol. I was about to say methanol.
Yeah. Oh god, it's just like
just like methamphetamines, baby. No, just like menthol almost, which is good. I dig it.
Yeah,
but I did not expect that.
It like that is sometimes is a youthy attribute, but this is not necessarily. This is not coming across as a youthy product overall.
It is very herbal.
The finish is long and thin. I still taste the flavors, but my mouth isn't saturated at all. Like it stayed light. It stayed like sometimes I say summertime sipper. So yeah, it's like it was kind of a wave too, because I was herbal right away, and then I was slightly into barnyard funk territory, but then it totally mellowed out in a carameliness.
Have you ever had a herbal handy? Have you ever had an herbal flavoring Thomas H. Handy?
I guess not particularly.
No, this is interesting because I expected either this is going to be pretty similar to Thomas H. Handy, or it'll be more candy or something like that.
And we can pour some Handy right back there if we want to directly compare. Which actually, now that I think about it,
I don't think I've ever had herbal Thomas H. Handy.
So I have a 2019, and it's like a surprisingly medicinal cherry. I have a 2022 that I remember being my favorite, but I don't remember why. And then 2023 is just kind of like a show off, like in terms of intensity, with not a lot of complexity.
Oh yeah. It was one of my favorite Handy releases.
Yeah. What do you want me to get a little Handy?
Nah.
Okay, all right. We won't do it today.
Yeah. I'll be honest. It's not that I don't like this. I was kind of hoping this would be the savior of ryes, though. Like the ultimate rye.
Do ryes need a savior, Cole?
No, they don't. There's some good ryes out there. I mean, heck, I love Sazerac 6. Baby Saz is great. This is better. This is better than... I don't know if this is better than Handy, though. Than a good Handy. We'll find out. This
is a good occasion as any.
Ooh, crack-a-lackin'.
To open the 2022 Handy, which I had only tried a sample of before. But this one was
we open bottles.
Yeah, right. This was my favorite of 2019 and 2022, 2023.
That cool taggy thing.
Yeah, I know, right? I should have NFC'd it before I opened it.
And
now we'll never know if it's legitimate or not.
True.
All right, here's a extra poppy for you.
Ooh.
Oh, I bet that sounded real pleasant.
Oh, our listeners have already swooned.
I know, right? All right. Let me give you this Handy here real quick.
Whoa.
Yeah, had to do it. Had to say it.
Ooh, that is funky. Cardboard shoebox.
Okay, for my own memory, we have the Entry Buzz in the Meetup Cleanse. We have the E.H. Taylor in the CF Cleanse, and then we have Handy in the Blanks. Handy in the Blanks. Handy in the Blanks.
Oh, you're thinking of Benny and the Jets.
But Handy in the Blanks.
Handy! Handy in the Blanks. I had to write that down. You could probably play that on piano.
Yeah, maybe if I I'd find it somewhere and do it by ear. But
that's funny. What are you getting, that cardboard note that I'm getting on the nose?
No, actually. I'll give you a pour of 2023 after this if you want. I'm getting this
a little bit of herbal.
Same kind of like caramely richness. Maybe I don't know. That's just where I'm at today.
Really good question. Which is better though?
It's cool that they're so on par that you're not sure though.
They're different. Like I thought maybe Handy's herbal, not compared to the E.H. Taylor or Barrel Proof Rye.
For me, so much more menthol on the Handy.
Really?
Yep. So much more mouth cooling for me on the Handy than the E.H. Taylor. Silence is golden. This is the longest pause in podcast history.
It could be, yeah.
Got to think real hard about it though. I think I like, so I'm going back into my E.H. Taylor sip now, but I think I like the E.H. Taylor a little more. I think that
this is hard for me.
Well, I should sip it first before I say too much, but I'm inclined to say after the first sip that Handy is the better rye, but Taylor
is unique.
The one that I like more. I gotta try it one more time because it doesn't have that mentholness. But like, I mean, I say it's a better rye. I say that Handy's the better rye because it's like it's everything that you want the rye to be. If you know rye whiskey and you know you like rye whiskey, you're going to drink a Handy and it's going to have all that herbal you want. It's going to have the Buffalo Trace cherry that you want. It's going to have the intensity, decent proof that you want. Honestly, there's just like nothing bad about it at all. But the Taylor threw me for a loop with the verging on the barnyard funk dealio.
I've made my decision.
Let's hear it.
I haven't decided this on like in the short term, which is better. I actually don't know. They're very close. But if you handed me just a unmarked bottle of both of them and say you have to drink one of the two of these for the rest of your life, I would choose the Thomas H. Handy.
Yeah.
It's that barn, like you said, it's a barnyard mentholy herbaliness that would eventually get on my nerves.
Okay.
Even though I enjoy it now, I think it would eventually get on my nerves.
Yeah. The E.H. Taylor is clearly more grainy than Handy.
Yeah. And they're not purely candy, like a candy rye, but they are slightly, like both of them are slightly on that candy level. Which is a bummer. I really hoped the E.H. Taylor rye, would be much more candy, especially for a E.H. Taylor special edition. It is good. Don't get me wrong, it's good. But it's a slight, like if I were to give points to each of these, I would give
You are giving points. We need to rate this. We actually
haven't even started on the ice pour or the water pour.
We'll do it quick, I guess. You got to do it.
But so far, if I were to give E.H. Taylor Barrel Proof a score, it would be like 92, and I would give a 93 to the Handy. But we'll see after
this quick break. No, I'm kidding.
I hope that our love of pour mine.
No, I did not water yours. I let you water your own. I think off the neat, I agree. I think Handy takes the cake. The Taylor just is just a little too weird.
It's weird. It's kind of cool though.
that's not a very descriptive way for listeners to understand what I mean, but there's things about it. If you're watching the YouTube feed, you probably saw when I took the very first sip of the E.H. Taylor Barrel Proof Rye, my head like cocked to the side, like the kombucha girl, where she was like, "Whoa, whoa,"
or like what's her name? What's the girl in the Poltergeist or in the Exorcist?
I have no idea.
What? Oh, John Hughes is yelling at his car right now. What is her name? Exorcist. Linda Blair. Linda Blair. She is, like.
Oh, her head goes.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, mine didn't go quite that far.
You know what I watched? I think I told you this. I watched Late Night with the Devil.
Yeah. We watched that too.
Yeah, I liked it. I was great.
Wait, that was just a movie, right? That wasn't a TV show.
Movie.
Yeah. We watched it for sure.
Highly recommended. And looking forward to more of the David Dastmalchian, whatever his name is. I thought he did a great job, and I think he should try out more lead roles.
Oh, the guy who was like leading the talk show.
He was always a B actor until this movie.
Dude, he's awesome.
Yeah,
he's the guy from
Batman.
From Batman.
He was the crazy guy in the Dark Knight. He was one of the crazy guys. One of the insane asylum guys.
Oh, for sure. What I remember him from, and I hope I'm getting this right, is the Better Suicide Squad. Remember how they made Suicide Squad?
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah,
it was an absolute complete flop.
Yeah,
and then they made it again.
Oh, they made it again.
Yeah, a different director.
Gotcha.
I think at least
was it a sequel?
Nope, they just did it again
with not Jared Leto.
I don't remember. I don't remember. But he was the Polka Dot Man. I mean, I don't know what
that's great.
The real name is. The real name might be Polka Dot Man. I don't know. But he has just the most triumphant ending.
I love that. I gotta watch it.
Oh, dude, it's like he gets you to feel things. I don't want to spoil it.
No, that's great. I'm into that. Totally into that.
If you've seen it, you know what I'm talking about. At the end, where they're fighting the final boss, and he it's so great.
That's great.
It's so great.
I don't like it as much with water.
I didn't taste much of a difference at all.
It's a little too Tootsie Rolly.
What? Yeah. I hate Tootsie Roll now.
It pushes to the direction. I wouldn't say it's Tootsie Rolly, but it pushes in that direction.
Is it chocolate or is it experiential, or like what do you mean by Tootsie Roll?
It is synthetic. Yeah. A little bit with water. Yeah. I'm gonna ice it down. It's over there.
That one?
Yeah. No, what?
Oh, you're gonna ice that.
Yeah.
I got you. Fine. Dig your own ice. Look at that. Look at all that ice.
Boom.
All right, I'm gonna pour a little bit more.
Spin J.
Like late on the finish, I do get a little menthol. But it's like nothing to the extent handy menthol.
So here's the question.
Nothing like a menthol-y handy.
I'm bringing out the hard questions, Brian.
Yeah.
I know you don't regret getting this.
I never regret anything.
Then that answers it.
Yeah.
I was like, I know you don't regret this, but do you regret this? No, but like
YOLO, Cole. Yeah, YOLO.
Only YOLO once, as Brian says.
I do.
You only. But this is hard. I mean, if it's like maybe it's a yearly release, maybe it'll come out like Barrel Proof Rye or Barrel Proof Bourbon. Maybe it'll be a batch something.
Yeah.
Would you go for it next year?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, for sure.
I
love Ryes, and it's like a really unique bottling.
It is good.
So heck yeah,
this is 9+ territory.
Is it though? Think hard. I don't let me convince you not to.
Let me think about
but
this.
Like it's so easy given what it is to be.
I think it is 9.0 so far.
Okay, cool.
Yeah,
still room to grow or sink.
It's got that. It's got that herbal mentholiness that I dig, but like I said, it would get old if I like only was able to drink this for the rest of my life. I'd rather, honestly, I think if you handed me 2 bottles and said, you only get to drink this for the rest of my life, I might even go like Baby Saz over this, because Baby Saz has never let me down. This would get old.
Sip your ice.
Okay. Ooh.
I am finally getting strawberry on the nose with ice. And
good finish.
The ice completely removed the barnyard funk stuff, the graininess that I mentioned earlier. The ice made all that go away, and it really brought out candy rye attributes for me.
It did.
It did tame the menthol too. It made it a very sweet, delicious candy rye with ice. Like, it would be so hard to say that I'm gonna do ice with this every time I drink it.
It'd be worth it though.
But like,
it's a winner.
I guess. I mean, I don't normally drink ice with my whiskey like at all. But given how good this is, I'd probably do ice one or two more times.
Oh, for sure. Before you finish that bottle.
Yeah, like it's that good of an experience. The nose with ice is so good. The nose with ice is like, if we were doing a reentry buzz and I nosed this right now, I would
better than the neat nose.
Be freaking out. Yeah. I would like tell you I'd pay $300 for this.
I still don't think it breaks 9.0 though. For me. This is a minus.
It's tough. It's tough.
This is an A minus for me.
You want to go into more detail there?
I know I got my hopes up.
What could have gotten it to A flat?
More candy, less Tootsie Roll.
Tootsie Roll.
No, I didn't get Tootsie Roll.
Synthetic. Oh, that's right. That's right.
But more candy. More candy. I would have won it. Yeah, it was slightly candy. And that's why I give it a 9.0, A minus, but no more than that. Definitely no more than that. It's not a letdown. It is a cool bottle.
Man.
And how often do you get your hands on a E.H. Taylor Special Edition?
That's true.
And the first E.H. Taylor Special Edition that's a rye and barrel proof.
Right.
Yep, 9.0 A minus. Yo.
Well,
10.
No.
And an A plus plus. No.
A triple plus? Is there a quadruple plus? Hold on. Let me look at the scoring sheet. I thought I knew what I was going to say, but then I read my defined thing. I was going to say A.
Okay.
But what I wrote down for what A means is it's very good. It is extremely solid and well-rounded. No substantial negative comment can be made.
There's a substantial one.
Yeah. Well, I mean, not necessarily like substantial, but like there were negative things about this. There were definitely positive and negative things about this. So this has got to be okay. What carries this into A minus for me, so I'm totally on board with you, is the ice pour, which is so weird. Yeah, I'm shameless. This is delicious with ice. If you somehow manage to get one of these,
throw a cube in there.
Don't be shy to try it with ice. Yeah.
Bus driver, drop that cube.
It actually, but it's like, is ice like fixing it? Like, is it flawed?
You think about this. You think about like Sazerac 18 is a 18-year-old 90 proof rye that is fantastic because they proof it down.
Man.
And it goes well with ice too.
Next time I try this, I might proof it down a lot.
Yeah,
actually,
not a few drops.
I'll do the math to proof it down to a specific proof just to see if, like, maybe if I go purposefully very low, I might be able to, I don't know, get the same feeling that I'm feeling with ice. But so yeah, maybe next time I'll add a lot more water for science.
For the sake of the scientific method.
But yeah, I'm A minus also. I do believe that it more than clearly stands out. This is very good, but I just can't say that there's nothing negative about it because there's totally some negative stuff, and that negative stuff is a little youthy graininess, a little barnyard funk that it's like it's uncharacteristic.
It is
of what this line represents. So
expect more.
It's more than paying homage. It whatever the other thing was.
It tracks homage.
No, what's the the phrase? What's the Buffalo Trace thing?
Oh, embrace honor tradition, dishonors tradition.
Yeah. You have dishonored the family, Colonel E.H.
You and your cow.
It's its own thing.
Yeah.
If Buffalo Trace had played mind games with me and released this as the root beer guy.
Oh, Freddie Johnson, baby.
If this was the Freddie Johnson Rye Barrel Proof Uncut Unfiltered, I'd be like, whoa, it's so cool. It's so different. It's so unique. But like being in this line, it just doesn't measure up to the standards that I expected.
It's no, it doesn't even touch a toe to seasoned wood.
I believe it.
Can't even touch the
Maybe
toe.
Someday I'll find out.
Dude, you will. I assure you. You will. I gotta just crack it one of these days. And I will say that for years, and then one day I will.
Yeah.
Now that we talked about our ratings, I guess it's next time for our next segment of the show. A segment that we like to call Whiskey World News.
All right, welcome back, everybody. This is Whiskey World News, and today we're going to read an article from the Whiskey Advocate, everybody's favorite whiskey magazine. Did you ever
Never.
They started sending me free ones.
Really?
Yeah.
You still got them?
Well, so they sent me 3 ones, for over 3 months.
Oh, gotcha. But then they sign up or die.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. They were like, there was a card in there, and it was like, your subscription is almost over.
Yeah.
And it's like, I never
signed up, baby.
And then I got one more after that too, where they were like, your subscription's almost over.
Please.
But then that was it. I think I got like 4 for free.
Like, he likes whiskey. Yeah. Send him that.
I know, right? But anyway,
that's your gift this year. Subscription to all the whiskey magazines, including Cigar Aficionado.
Oh, dude, I get those.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, I do.
Already? Do you pay for them?
No.
Okay, good.
Oh, wait, no, I'm thinking of something else. Anyway, I get some cigar stuff because one time I bought cigars from a website.
Like, this guy's an aficionado.
This guy loves cigars, man.
Big into cigars. He gets into cigars in a big way.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
I can count the amount of cigars I smoke in 2 years on one hand.
Yeah, easily. Yeah.
But one of those was last night.
Yeah.
But anyway, back to the Whiskey Advocate. So there are 2 new barrel releases coming out.
Barrel with 2 L's.
Barrel. There are 2 new
Barrel. It's like Durrell. My boy Durrell.
Durrell's Barrel Craft Spirits. Gray label bourbon coming out. It is release number 6 on the bourbon. There is a gray label Seagrass coming out. Maybe I'll correct myself.
Isn't it a 19-year?
Oh no! Please hold.
Okay.
Please hold. The bourbon is 55.6.06% ABV, so 110-ish proof.
110.12 for the record.
Thank you, math man. SRP is 159. And the Seagrass is 64.15%. Multiplied by 2 is
128.3. You're welcome, listeners.
SRP is 199, 200 on that.
Nice.
So Barrel is back with 2 releases in its ultra aged gray label series, a bourbon and a rye. The rye being a blend of 2 whiskeys with 100% rye mash bills from an undisclosed Canadian distiller, most likely Alberta Distillers, which is known for its high rye mash bills. Yeah. So the first of these, the gray label bourbon that I mentioned, it is the 6th in the series of gray label bourbons. The first 4 of the gray label bourbons, they all bore a 15-year-old age statement. Release 5 dropped the age statement entirely, but this new batch 6 is a blend of 13 to 19-year-old bourbons from India. From India.
That'd be crazy.
Yeah, the TTB approved that one faster than they approved approved right. From Indiana and Kentucky, Tennessee, Wyoming. It is the first time that Barrell Craft Spirits has introduced Wyoming juice into a gray label bourbon blend. Yeah, Wyoming. They must have just thought that was really good, I guess.
Yeah.
So the second release is the gray label Seagrass. It sports an impressive 19-year-old age statement, as Cole spoiled earlier. It comprises 2 100% Canadian ryes, which were finished in a mix of apricot brandy, Malmsey Madeira,
Malmsey,
and Martinique
a
rum.
balmy Malmsey Madeira.
Thank you. The previous batch had a 16-year age statement, by the way.
Nice.
So this is 3 years older than the previous batch.
And gold label is 20 years, right?
Was it only 20?
I think it was only 20.
Yeah, maybe you Google that real quick.
Yeah.
But it was, if it wasn't 20, it was like 21, 22.
I think it was 20.
Right around there. So this is like pushing.
This is like gray label cheaper, but could be better.
I know, right? Yeah. But it is $200 for that seagrass.
Holy crap, I'm buying that.
Yeah, I know, right?
I'm buying that.
Yeah, because the gold, a couple of years more.
One potentially year more.
Even with the new, Google it. Even with the even with the new price, the gold label is $300 to $330, something like that.
Gold?
The gold. Barrel Seagrass gold.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah. So it is, a considerable jump above the gray label, the new gray label. So you're paying more than $100 more for like a year or 2 or 3 as soon as Cole Googles it.
It'll be soon.
But I'm sure it's delicious. I would grab one. I would grab one and cross my fingers that
20 years.
That it's as good as the gold. And the gold is 20 years. As Cole Googled. So
Cole's good at this.
Cole is good at this. Cole's only been doing this for 6 years.
Handy.
So anyway,
that brings us to our next thing of the show.
Yeah, that was weird.
My thoughts are that was totally normal. And next segment of the show, we like to call "What Whiskey Would You Choose?" We have results from last week. Yes, actually.
Thank you. What whiskey would you choose? We asked you last week. I love you, man.
That's why we do well.
What whiskey would you choose? We were asking you. It's allocation season.
Yeah.
What's your number one hope?
Yeah.
What are you hoping for? Mm-hmm. So Cole and I threw out E.H. Taylor Barrel Proof Rye was my hope. Look at that.
Yeah.
Eagle Rare 17 was Cole's hope. Cole won 56% to 44%.
Take that.
Boom. More people would prefer. And actually, honestly, now that our review is done, probably even more people would prefer Eagle Rare 17 over this.
Who wouldn't like an Eagle Rare 17?
But we got some good write-ins,
we did.
though. We got Marco and AZ. He said, Wild Turkey, Master's Keep, or Michter's 25. Reasonable price exists on either? ? Now I laughed, but I truly want to know, like, what's your biggest hope?
I thought he said rare breed at first. I was like, bro. But then it took me a second. Master's Keep,
Michter's 25. We saw one recently.
Did?
I'm sorry, I saw one recently.
But no, you saw Michter's 20.
Oh, you're right. You're right.
Yeah. Big difference.
And the guy was like, dude, it's been sitting here for so long. We'll probably just
go there tonight.
Tonight.
Yeah.
Actually, they're probably open all night. Is that kind of place.
Could figure it out.
Yeah. You'd be scared to bring that much cash with you.
Nah.
Matt Marketer Ben Klepsik says King of Kentucky. He wants that high proof, high age Brown Foreman. Feller 14. We got a new one from Feller 14.
Yeah, good to hear from him again.
He wants an Elmer T. Lee.
Get it,
this man or woman.
Man or woman.
And Elmer T. Lee.
I have a feeling this Feller is a man.
Yeah, actually, right. His name is Feller. So
not a fella.
Fella? Is Fella Feller?
If it were Latin,
I always forget. Is Lass or Lassie? What? Well, Lassie's got to be
Lassie,
right?
like Bruichladdich.
Yeah,
dude whiskey. No, I'm kidding.
I get it.
No, Lassie would be a girl.
Yeah, you're right. Okay. Dramhound says he hasn't been looking, but he would love the E.H. Taylor Barrel Proof Rye.
Dramhound.
Oh man, you know what? If we do a secret Santa this year,
Dramhound. Actually, we are going to do one this year.
I wonder if
prep your minds, listeners.
I wonder if someone would get a E.H. Taylor Barrel Proof Rye sample.
Hey, that's why you sign up this year for secret sampler.
Secret sampler. That's right.
Yeah, so prep your minds. We're probably going to put that out in late November.
Yeah, for sure. Plenty of time, several weeks to get samples out the door. To make your friends Christmas special. Kilted 518 Miles Ferguson says he would love to get an E.H. Taylor. Cole shared his 4-grain with me years ago, opening my eyes to bourbon.
Yeah, and Patricia liked that one from my recollection.
She's got the tasty ones.
Patricia beats Miles any day. Miles is like, I agree. No, I agree. I love both of
Love
you.
it. Love it.
Love the Fergusons.
B-side Bryce Morita says George T. Stagg and an
Or
Eagle Rare for
he
Cole.
always puts in a entry for me, and I love him for it.
Oh, fantastic. Like Pennsylvania lottery kind of thing.
Yep.
Yeah. Awesome.
Yep.
Awesome. Wait, B-side.
B-side.
We got a double. We got a copy paste there from B-side.
Nice.
Broaska Testuase. Eagle Rare 17. My like font is really small on here. I thought it said Eagle Rare 171.
Hey, I'll take that too.
Dang, 171.
Could you imagine what's left in that barrel? They would have to freeze the barrel.
Yeah, nothing.
Yeah.
We're gonna need to chill filter that to get all that crap out of there.
Yeah. Non-chill filtered. Welcome to Non-Chill Filtered, where we talk about not whiskey so you can enjoy nothing. Yeah.
So you can enjoy your particulates.
Yeah, exactly.
Your unfiltered particulates.
You can just enjoy pure dry oak.
Okay. Braska Testuase. He's at Eagle Rare 17. Eagle Rare 10 got me into the hobby. I was so close last year. He was so close last year.
My Canadian turtle friend, my brother in Canadian Turtles. If you win it, I'll get you something crazy.
A Found North single barrel.
Found North single barrel. That's right.
He was close last year, but he did end up with a GTS.
Hey, win.
Yeah, right.
Win. I tried that yesterday for the first time.
Well, the 2023.
It was good.
Yeah, GTS.
It wasn't my favorite from the lineup, but it was good. Yeah.
For sure. So now we are asking you, dear Instagram follower, search for Chill Filtered Podcast.
If you're not
on
I
Instagram,
don't know why I keep doing that.
Yeah, snapping. This dude is snapping. You get this man a handy and he starts snapping. So we're asking you, dear Instagram follower, what show meme should we base our Found North sticker
What's
on?
like a old joke you think it would apply to a good Found North sticker?
So we got the details. We got the beats from Chris from Found North, and he gave us the sticker layout for us to do whatever we want on this sticker. And the question is, what show meme goes on this sticker? Do we make it a joke? Do we make it serious? Do we make it whatever? It's gonna say Chill Filtered.
Totally.
But what else goes on this sticker? Tell me what show meme you remember. What do you remember? The whiskey, the ice makes the whiskey volume go up.
Or when it gets thicker when you put it in your mouth.
Thicker in the mouth. They'd be okay with that.
Yeah, they wouldn't be okay.
But anyway, Cole, what is your show meme?
It's easy. It's a classic Robbie mistake. It's the Songo barrel. Yeah, so it'd be the Chill Filtered Songo barrel #1. Yeah,
Songo barrel #1, and then there's many Songo barrels to come.
So what I loved was that Chris Riesbeck loved that. He was like, we should just change the letter on every single barrel. Like it'll be like the Sangle barrel.
He meant even on the Found North front label. If they could change the letter to like Songo barrel.
Sangle barrel. But we're gonna go with Songo barrel. Final answer, Jim.
Yes, a Songo barrel. Shout out to Robbie. Yo Rob. My show meme that I'm going with is finished in a pizza barrel. I love the pizza, man.
We should totally put that on. But it's not a bourbon.
Yeah, I want the
bourbon.
I love the pizza. I want finished in a pizza barrel. I want when Seal Box.
You just say a Songo barrel finished in a pizza barrel.
So if you go too wacky
in a Songo pizza barrel,
Songo pizza.
Oh, you were saying.
When Sealbox has to sell the rest of these
to
the community, I want them to have to explain that it's not finished.
There's
in a
no pizza in this barrel. Even if it were, it would not be a bourbon. No.
So actually, what Chris told me was when Kelvin took the finishing barrels and they had a fuel source to toast the barrels,
they made Neapolitan pizza on it.
They put some pizza as the fuel source.
All comes together,
and they lit the pizza on fire. So. It is the essence of pizza. The pizza burning smoke smoked the inside of the barrel as a pizza barrel.
You know, it's funny. We started recording. We're like, will we have the energy for this episode? And I can assure you, this is one of our favorite episodes already.
Yeah. Well,
I love that.
A good handy always helps.
Yeah, it does help. It helps with the mood.
Next week, Cole, what are we drinking next week?
Do we know?
No, we didn't talk about this at all. There are many
before we talk about it, we want to hear from you guys on Instagram.
Please.
We'll put it out on Wednesday. What whiskey would you choose Wednesday?
Sure.
Do we have any killer pours lately?
So, okay, we've been hitting American stuff heavy. I think it's Scotch time.
Scotch time.
I don't know what Scotch we have, but you'll see 2 votes go out.
Yeah. It's gonna be a Scotch. What's the word you use? Scratch. It'll be a scratch this week.
That was my flub, and I can't stop now. Every time I see Scotch, I'm like, scratch.
Scratch single barrel, and we'll call it the scratch.
The Gordon MacPhail scratch. Yeah.
That's pretty good. Talk about fails. Gordon and MacPhail scratch.
Oh boy.
All right. Any other last words? Any last comments?
I hope you have a good flight home,
dude. I hope you're able to wake up tomorrow morning to drive to the airport.
I do hope you get a good night's sleep.
I know I will. But first, I'm going to edit this podcast.
Yeah, I know, right?
But most of all, listeners, I hope that our love of whiskey lifted your spirits. Have you ever had a herbal handy? Have you ever had an herbal flavoring Thomas H. Handy? Oh, you're thinking of Benny and the Jets.
But Handy in the blanks.
Handy! Handy in the blanks.
Oh, what's this? Wait, how did this get here?
Who
burned that one? What's that? Is this just a piece of paper with a printout right here? Let me rip this piece of paper off. Oh, wow. That's real. Yeah, real glass. It's probably just tea in there.
Yeah, it's probably just brown